$100 a month turns into $349,000, and most of it isn't money you put in. The total contributed over 40 years, $48,000. The rest, $301,000, the math made. That gap is compound interest explained simply, and it's the most powerful force in personal finance. There's one reason most people never feel this force, and the answer has nothing to do with income. Compound interest means you earn returns on your returns. The growth itself starts growing. Most explanations skip right past that mechanism, but that loop is the entire secret. Simple interest would give $48,000 in growth over 40 years at 8% assumed. Compound interest at that same rate gives $301,000 in growth. Same contributions, same deposit amount, same 8% assumption, same 40 years, wildly different ending number. 8% is an assumption stated clearly every time, not a promise, not a guarantee. Before going deeper, there's a free compound interest calculator linked in the description below. It runs every one of these scenarios in about 30 seconds, built for exactly this topic. Now, compound interest explained simply starts with one clean rule, the rule of 72. Divide 72 by the interest rate, and you get the years it takes for money to double. At 8% assumed, money doubles roughly every 9 years. That's the intuitive engine. Watch what that doubling does to a single deposit left completely untouched for 30 years. $10,000 untouched, 8% assumed, 30 years. Roughly $100,000. No additional deposits, no extra work. Time did 10 times the money. That's the first payload. A lump sum parked early is a time machine pointed directly at future net worth. Now take it down to a monthly habit, the kind of number most people can actually do. $100 a month, every month, 8% assumed for 40 years. That's the headline. End balance, $349,000. Total deposited $48,000. $301,000 of that total, more than 6 times contributions. It's pure compounding, and the curve barely moves in the early years, so most people quit before it bends. Year 1, 2, 3, the balance looks embarrassingly small, but that slow start is the engine warming. By year 30, monthly interest earnings alone often exceed the monthly deposit. The snowball outgrows the push. The real enemy of compounding isn't low income. It's quitting during the flat early years. Staying in during the flat years is what earns the bend. And the bend is where the money lives. Tell me in the comments, how much do you think you'll actually need? Put your number down there. Now here's the section most finance content buries, the part that matters more than the amount. The number that changes the outcome most isn't how much you invest, it's how early you start. Start at 25 versus 35, same $100 a month, same 8% assumed. The 25-year-old reaches 65 with $349,000, assuming contributions through 65. The 35-year-old identical monthly habit reaches 65 with roughly $155,000. That's less than half from a 10-year delay and the exact same monthly deposit amount. A 10-year delay cost almost $200,000 for it to reach just from $100 a month. The 35-year-old didn't invest less per month, they just lost 10 years of compounding's early runway. Time is the ingredient compound interest needs most, and it's the only one that can't be purchased. Dad's rule has always been this: starting at 25 beats, starting rich. A person who starts at 25 with $100 will likely outrun someone starting at 35 with $300. That race isn't about hustle. It's about years of compounding that the late starter can never fully recover. Run the comparison yourself in the calculator. The description link runs the exact age versus amount math. Now scale it up. $500 a month, same 8% assumption for 30 years. End balance, $745,000. Total contributed $180,000. The math created $565,000, more than 3 times what went in. Bigger deposit, fewer years than the 40-year scenario. Still an overwhelming ratio of growth to contribution. This is not magic, it's arithmetic. The formula has worked for every person who left money alone long enough. The vehicle matters less than the habit. A Roth IRA, a 401k, a taxable index fund. What the account is called matters less than what it holds and how long it sits untouched. Automating the deposit removes the monthly decision, and that decision is where most people slip. Life gets busy in month 7. The automated deposit goes in anyway, and the compounding never notices. The enemy of compounding isn't a bad month. It's the withdrawal that interrupts the loop. Every withdrawal removes not just today's money, it removes all future compounding that money would have earned. A $10,000 early withdrawal at 35 doesn't cost $10,000. It can cost $60,000 by 65. The bank is not your friend. It makes money when you stay confused about how this works. Keeping the money untouched is not patience, it's the actual investment strategy, not a side note. Here's the mid-video reality check. Understanding the math is easy. Executing it is where outcomes split. 3 moves separate the people who feel compound interest from those who only ever heard of it. Move 1. Pick a number, any number, and start today. $10 counts, $50 counts, $100 counts. The amount is less important than the start date. That's been established twice now for a reason. Move 2. Automate into an account holding index funds. Remove the human from the monthly loop entirely. Index funds spread risk across hundreds of companies, one purchase, diversified automatically low cost. Move 3, don't touch it. Check it once a year, not monthly, not weekly, once per year. Checking it weekly doesn't grow it faster, and it just creates anxiety that leads to bad decisions. The 3-move system works because it removes every friction point between income and compounding. No credential required, no minimum salary, no financial expertise needed to execute these 3 moves. A person earning $30,000 a year can use this system. The math doesn't check income. The math checks one thing. Did the money go in and did it stay in long enough for the bend to arrive? Now here's what the numbers actually say about the single most important lever in this whole equation. The lever isn't the amount, it's the years. Time does the heaviest lifting in compound interest. Under these assumptions, start now with whatever number is real, automate it, and let time close the gap. The math doesn't care about income level. It cares about the start date and the hands-off policy. That's the verdict. Start now, automate the amount, and leave time to do the work. Now here's the bonus. The one thing your dad would want you to know before closing this out. Compound interest works in both directions, and most people never get told about the other direction. When it's on your side, it turns $48,000 into $349,000. When it's pointed against a wallet, a credit card at 20%, it destroys wealth just as efficiently. The mechanism is identical. Returns on returns, month after month, but this time the bank collects. A credit card balance carried for years while paying only the minimum is compound interest working overnight shifts against the holder. The formula is the same. The direction is reversed. And the bank designed it that way deliberately. Understanding compound interest explained simply means understanding both sides of that arrow and choosing a side. The people who build wealth aren't necessarily earning more. They just put compounding on their side first. Every month, a high-interest debt goes unpaid. That's the same engine running, just in the wrong direction. The fastest way to supercharge the investment side is to eliminate the debt side first, then redirect that payment. Kill the 20% drain. Redirect that cash into the 8% assumed engine. That's the full two-sided strategy. That's the bonus. While compound interest is either the most powerful tool in the wallet or the sharpest blade against it. Nobody is coming to fix this for anyone. The plan is the person holding this information right now. The compound interest calculator in the description runs every number you just saw. Open it tonight, not next month. Plug in a real number. Plug in the current age. See the actual ending balance. Make it personal. The number on screen after that calculation is not a fantasy. It's arithmetic under a stated assumption. And arithmetic under a stated assumption is something anyone can act on, and tonight with a real number. So here's Dad's one rule on this. Start today with whatever number is real, automate it, and never let 1 month of confusion cost years of compounding.